Hi everybody, I'm Michael Allen Ross, and yes, today we're going to show you a few of my tips just to help you market your vehicle a little bit better.
So you're ready to sell your Porsche on PCA's Mart, ready for the next car, but before you get into that next car, you gotta sell the one that you have. So we've brought in Michael Allen Ross to share with you some tips of the trade, photographer extraordinaire, on how to get your car sold.
Hi everybody, I'm Michael Allen Ross, and yes, today we're going to show you a few of my tips just to help you market your vehicle a little bit better. Today we're going to ask you to do a few very specific things. Number one, we like to ask you to bring the car out of the garage, and that's why we brought the car out here today. And I'm going to talk about backgrounds. I've chosen a nice simple background here. It's not dramatic, it's not romantic, but it doesn't take away from the car in any way. It's nice and simple. We brought you here for a reason, because this is exactly where you don't want to be. Beautiful car, nice little fence, but let's really take a look at this, can we? Notice the lamp pole coming right out of the vehicle. Something intersecting the car like that is inexcusable. It just doesn't make any sense. Why didn't you just move the car to the left or the right? The trees over here are very distracting as well. And not to mention this lovely, if we step out and shoot the whole car, now we have this great blue dumpster over there. Not really great, no. Now, if the pole was gone and we were shooting very tightly and we just had this little fence with nothing else, that might work. But there's way too much going on here. Car's in a neutral position. The car has now been cleaned. And just to make things a little bit easier, I'm going to shoot everything using the iPhone. Use whatever you like. DSLR, I would typically be using about $12,000, $15,000 of equipment in my hand, but we're just going to use the iPhone today. So all the shots you're going to see are going to be shot with this camera right here. We'll keep it simple. Now let's talk about what time of day or what's the right light to photograph your car in. A lot of people come to me and say, oh, it's not a cloud in the sky, perfect day to shoot the car. Well, no. What we want is nice, even light on the vehicle. Today we have the benefit of a cloudy day that's going to help us shoot right now. But typically we want light that's later in the day or very early in the morning. People talk about beauty light. What is beauty light? I'm going to tell you. Imagine bright, brilliant sun hitting this very hard surface and bouncing off of it. That's not pretty. It doesn't sound pretty, right? Sounds almost painful. Whereas beauty light, when the light is softer, everything gets more even on the vehicle. And the light, if you will imagine, is like a piece of velvet that just wraps itself around the curves of the vehicle. And that's why we call it beauty light. It really makes a difference when it comes to your photography. Avoid that harsh light if you can. How do we photograph the car? What's Michael's thought process? I'm a simple guy. I think of the car as a little model on a turntable, and I start with a front 3/4 shot of the car. That's the most important shot. I go from front 3/4 to dead on side of the car, rear 3/4, back of the car, other side, all the way around. Now granted, you may have to move the vehicle to accomplish this to maintain a consistent background on the vehicle. But once you've gone all the way around the vehicle, you've captured it. You've got the whole thing. And now it's time to move on to the next thing. Car's in position, the light's great, we've shot the outside of the car. But now let's step in a little bit farther. Do the same thing I did before, walk around the whole vehicle, get your little details around the vehicle that make that car unique. You know, it's really going to show that it's exactly what it is, but at the same time, you're showing the condition of the vehicle in all these different places. Where's the wear and tear? People want to know where that is, and it shows up in these little areas. Speaking about wheels, just give yourself an extra couple of moments and make sure that Porsche crest is straight up and down. Why? Because it drives me crazy if it isn't. No, actually the real reason is it looks proper. And if you've taken the opportunity to make sure that that photograph is correct, it also says a lot about you, and the person buying your vehicle is going to recognize that. Now you've shot the entire exterior of the vehicle. You've gone all the big shots and all your detail shots. Now it's time to open up the vehicle. So I like to start in the engine compartment. Let's take a look. Okay, here we have the motor. Beautiful 3.6 direct fuel injection. So if I'm going to photograph this, notice we've still used the same background. The reason I did that is that it makes everything cohesive. We could have shot the car in the other direction and seen the other background, but then it would be confusing. So I like to try to use the same background when I'm shooting details. They kind of pulls things together a little bit. First on, I would do a dead-on shot of the motor, straight on. Then I'm going to come in even closer. I'm going to start looking at little labels, anything with a label on it. It's got coating on there, take a photograph of it. Anything that has print on it, photograph it. And look for little specific things. We're not known for being able to see a lot in the engine compartment on a Porsche. And as time has gone on, there's less and less to see. But if you have an opportunity, you're going to be able to see a lot of little great things that you can get in there, get kind of artistic with them. So you've got the full shots again, and then the detail shots. Same thing we did with the outside. We're just repeating the same process. Somebody explained to me one time, it's very important to photograph not only the forest, but the trees and then the bark. So if you think of it that way, just keep coming in and then repeat the process again. It's what I do all the way around the car. So let's go up to the front. Now, once again, very important to get a full shot of everything that's in here. First of all, what I would do is I would take everything that's in here and take it out. So you have an understanding as to how clean it is. Make sure you clean it out, vacuum it out, get all that stuff out of there so you have a nice clean surface to work with. And then if you have tool kits or anything like that, let's see what's in here. This one doesn't have, every car's got little different things, right? So this one, you're going to pull out this is your wind deflector. That's going to come out. Box of goodies. All that's going to come out. There's more oil. Oh yeah, I could use that in my car. What's in here? Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? But for right now, we're just going to drop that because I know that in here, if I can get this to release, is your compressor and your goop to take care of your flat tire. People want to know that it's actually in there, behind there, because it's supposed to be there, all right? Once you have a nice clean shot of the whole trunk without anything in it, now you're going to go back and you're going to take all those little things that you took out and photograph them individually, either in a different place or within the trunk. I like to use the trunk itself and open something up and place it here or something like that, a little artistic thing. But people want to know that what came with the vehicle is still with the vehicle, so make sure you have photographs of that. Now, one of the most important things to photograph on your vehicle is the VIN number. You can find it in a few different places, and on different cars, it's in different places. So in this particular car, it's right there on the windshield. It's also on the inside of the door jamb. With the VIN number, you're verifying exactly what the vehicle is. And with the VIN number, the future owner can pull up all sorts of information on the vehicle, from option codes, color codes, and all sorts of things like that. You want to make sure that you have that photographed. Don't do all this work and then miss that. That's a very key element. Well, today we have the benefit of working with a convertible, which is always easier when it comes to photographing an interior. But I'm going to show you some things that are very specific, little things that will make all the difference, no matter whether it's a convertible, a coupe, a Targa, whatever. First of all, seat position. Notice, seats are completely off. I like to have them at the exact same distance, passenger seat and driver seat, the same distance from the dashboard. Also, the height of the seat should be the same, and the back should be in the same position as well. Something like this is unacceptable. Number two, take a close look at that steering wheel. Remember what we talked about before with the wheel? Well, make sure that Porsche crest is straight up and down again. Nothing like a wheel that's cocked to one side or the other to throw things off a little bit. You want to have it nice and even and nice and straight. Now, when you come in here and photograph, you're going to do the same thing. As much as you can, smaller and smaller. To do that, in a lot of cases, I never get in the vehicle sometimes. And I just sit on the sill here. And I sit on the sill, first thing I see is the door. Look at all this great stuff on the door. Get these little details that are here. Make sure you get your pedals. This all has to be cleaned and vacuumed out. You can get a camera right down in there and get some great pedal shots. You can also get great instrument shots from an angle right through here or right through that wheel when that wheel's straight. You can also get console shots as well. If you feel like you need to climb into the vehicle, if you're shooting your own car, that's not a problem. If you're shooting someone else's car, always ask before you sit in the vehicle. Want to make sure and check you don't have anything in your back pockets or anything like that. They're going to harm anything. But make sure you get all these details in here. Now, another thing that's very important, don't forget that there's back seats. One way to do that is to reveal them, placing this forward, and photograph them up. Also show them with the shelf down. Now, if this were a coupe, I wouldn't be able to do that, except with a coupe, I put the window down and I shoot right through here. But make sure you've got the back seats as well as the front seats. Another little thing that really bothers me is this. Visors. Make sure they're all up. Even when you're shooting, before you go to shoot the car, I like to get the seats and the visors in place because you're going to see things like that when you're shooting the exterior of the vehicle. So do that ahead of time. Visors, seat position. That way when you come to shoot the interior, it's already done for you. I hope you found this video to be helpful, so the next time you photograph an automobile, it's just a little bit easier. Until next time, I'm Michael Allen Ross.